It was the 80th minute when the ball fell to Roberto Firmino. This was all he wanted, 18 yards out, a clear sight of a goal, a chance to become the hero of the hour. But, as had been the case all evening, the picture he ended up painting was horribly different to the net-ripping one he had in his mind. His shot went high and wide, and Firmino sank to the floor, burying his face in the turf. On the touchline, Jurgen Klopp spun on his heels and drove a fist into his hand in frustration. A wearily familiar story was being told once more, and, before the final whistle, his disbelief would grow further. After Firmino, substitute Daniel Sturridge and Mohamed Salah had opportunities to put Spartak Moscow away, but, like the Brazilian, they faltered when it mattered and another 2 Champions League points were squandered. We had 4 of 5 100% chances, Klopp reflected. That isn't necessarily true. Liverpool created 17 goal-scoring opportunities in Moscow and should have demolished their Russian hosts, but the only one they converted was a magnificent effort from Philippe Coutinho. It wasn't good enough by any means.For. All that criticizing Liverpool's defense is in vogue, the inability to put teams to the sword is proving to be just as worrying. The story of matchday 2 for them reads the same as matchday 1 against Sevilla: too many missed chances. It had been put to Klopp, when he arrived in Moscow, that Liverpool's need to win here was not solely about taking charge of Group E, but it was also to remind the rest of the continent they could be competent travellers. Recent campaigns in this competition have, after all, been wretched, and you have to go back to November 2009, against the Hungarian Minos Debrecen, to find when they last recorded a Champions League group stage victory away from Anfield. History was not something that bothered Klopp, and his plan was to blitz Spartak with raw pace down the flanks and Brazilian ingenuity in the middle, and all appeared to be going smoothly during the opening exchanges, when they found their rhythm. Coutinho started a move in the 10th minute that saw Emre Can and Salah join in before Trent Alexander-Arnold, the free-spirited right-back, swapped passes with the Egyptian before volleying just wide. This was a taste of things to come, with first, Salah being stopped in his tracks by a block from Serdar Tasci. Then Firmino missed a glorious chance when he gave Spartak keeper Artem Rebrov the chance to beat away his point-blank header. Then Liverpool did what Liverpool seems to always do, and allowed a position of authority to become a battle for survival. Spartak had not shown much adventure, but that changed when Coutinho was adjudged to have fouled Aleksander Samedov. If Klopp was baffled by the award of the free kick, Fernando made sure he felt even worse when bending his 25-yard effort over the wall and past the flailing arm of Loris Karius. The free kick they scored from was not a foul, Klopp observed. But it was a brilliant free kick. So here was the challenge: could they come back? This season, after conceding the first goal, Liverpool have failed to win any of their 4 matches, and a failure to peg Spartak back would have had grave consequences. But, to their credit, they kept playing, and soon they were level with a marvelous goal, Coutinho's dancing feet carrying him onto a return pass from Main, before he lifted his effort over the advancing Rebrov. In a flash, a stadium that had been bouncing was reverted to a hush, and it appeared as if Liverpool were ready to take control. They should have gone into the interval with the lead, but, somehow, they contrived to squander a 4-on-2 breakaway. One day, all of these opportunities Liverpool are creating will be finished and someone, somewhere will be taken apart. But until the profligacy is addressed, the anguish Klopp plainly feels on the touchline will endure. That break should have been converted. Jordan Henderson, Alexander-Arnold, Main, and Salah set off like 100-meter sprinters, but the final ball from the captain slid under the Senegal forward's foot and Salah had strayed offside. Stood with his hands behind his back, occasionally scratching his head, Klopp was seeing nearly everything he wanted from his team: the passing, the pressing, the energy, and the game was played almost exclusively in Spartak's half. If you don't let the opposition out of their territory, Klopp often explains, they cannot score. But, again, neither could Liverpool. Another chance came and went when Coutinho's free kick was smothered by Rebrov at the second attempt. That is how football is, Klopp said. The only way you can change it is by doing the same thing and you do it again. That turned out to be Rebrov's last involvement, however, as he was driven off the field the back of a medical cart, with his knee heavily bandaged. With 25 minutes to go, his replacement Aleksander Samedov was under no illusions about what to expect. Samedov, though, barely had a save to make in the time he was on. Liverpool peppered his goal, but no one had sufficient poise from Firmino to Sturridge to Salah, who headed straight at the substitute from Alexander-Arnold's cross in added time. "We are strong enough to qualify," said Klopp, whose side now face back-to-back games against Maribor. "The door is open, but we have to walk through it. We can see a bit of light, but we have to stay cool. We will be all right." That will only be true